Blessed Sunday, everyone. Uh, First time here. Welcome to my channel. Uh, each of us have plan, but our plan is finalized by the one above. Yes, I have no plans to work here in Singapore because I was working uh, as an engineer in one of the branches of the Department of Public Works and Highways in my province, Bohol. I live and came from Bohol. Yes. My friend was under me being a surveyor, a head of the surveyor in our department. He left Philippines going to Dubai working as a surveyor for at least, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was 2 years. After his contract was ended, he diverted his plan. He make a stopover here in Singapore. Before he went back home, he applied in different companies in Singapore. He was accepted in board piling works as a surveyor. He was the in charge of all the survey works of the projects. The project is almost 1 kilometer at that time because that was year 2008. I don't have plan to work here in Singapore. My friend was chatting me, calling me to come in Singapore because there are so many chances being an engineer. But because I have worked in Philippines, I don't mind him. But when there was a shortage of salary, because when our child is still young, financially, we need also a little. But when it become a kid is no longer a kid, we need additional income to support the family as one. So I contacted him that I will be coming. I arrived Singapore, it was last 2008, in the month of April 28. He met me there at the airport, Terminal 4, and live with him. He also helping me to find for a job. He personally talked to his manager to give me a chance to work with him. Yes, he succeeded. His manager is applying for a work for me. Then I applied also. But when the approval was released, it was a little bit late. The company I have also applied was contacted me to come for an interview, final interview. So I went. It was there near Dubigot. To make the story short, I was accepted as an engineer. Our project was there in Jurong Island, all about refinery, making foundation for the installation of a refinery, piping works to be installed, and so many board pilings, capping, uh, but before you will be accepted at Jurong Island, I attended so many requirements. Need to undergo safety trainings for at least half day, and a course for a supervisor's course. You are not allowed to enter unless you settled everything what is required. So I completed all. I worked there as an engineer. We constructed a foundation for the installation of piping, racks, precast columns, and others. Their safety is given a priority. When we do excavation, because that is Sunday area, because it is an island where the refinery, oil refinery, depot of Singapore is there located. So an excavation for a Sunday area is difficult when you go deeper, because the sun is keep on moving. When you go deeper and deeper, the sun is collapsing. So the nearby structure where you are working may be collapsed. So safety officers is always there looking at you. One of the requirements is that when you go an excavation depth of 1.5 meters, assuring is provided. You cannot proceed unless you comply the safety requirements, because safety officers there is so very strict, because it is volatile to fire. There are live factories producing segregating oils, gasoline, diesels, and so on, which are stuck there. So you have to be careful. So that is the place where I learn more about safety, because safety is given much importance rather than completing the work early. I learned that life is very important. Never play games, because when you play games about your construction, an accident may happens only in a blink of an eye. So that was the place where very uh, important because I learned a lot. Imagine I stay in Ang Mo Kio going to Jurong Island. We have a service car. The driver was picking me up at 4 o'clock in the morning, running towards to the Jurong Islands, reaching at about 7 o'clock in the morning. The driver is so fast. Car is so fast moving. If something happen, all what is inside in the van will become nothing. But all of us in the van is sleeping. We don't know what's going on. We only wake up when the checkpoint is waking up to be out for checking. So I worked there for 2 years. Working for 2 years in a restricted area. No cameras, no cell phones. You cannot take pictures. Filming, all is prohibited. Once you get inside, your cell phone will be deposited. They will take. Taking picture is not allowed. So I have no pictures there, memories of the past. How the construction was made. What I remember is what I did only, but I don't have the we call this picture to be seen if in case of finding or memory digging up. So after that one, after 2 years of working, I applied for another company. Because here in Singapore, even though your contract is not yet finished, but you have found already another company which is a little bit salary is higher, you can apply. Unlike other countries where you are restricted. Applied for another company, then I was accepted. So I applied for a resignation. I resigned my company, given 1 month notice. That is the requirements. You have to give 1 month notice before you can transfer to another company. I worked there in Marina South Extension. Now it is building there is quite high now because it is now fully developed and an MRT is already completed. So business is going very fast. High-rise building was constructed. So the area is beautiful now to see. I worked there before but I cannot go in now. I working there for 1.5 years as an engineer under Samsung. My boss was a Korean. Koreans are good. They are respectful to elderly. Yes, I learn respect by bowing your head. You have to stop, stand and bow down to greet the Koreans, my boss. Then I will say good morning. They are so very happy if you give a greeting for them. So my boss was so very kind. He is young. Maybe at that time I was older than him. So it was a smooth. There, I started there working for tunnels, open excavation for tunnels. For MRT lines, excavation, concreting, river works, a little bit see difference from Jurong Island. Jurong Island, I never see 40 mm diameter rivers look like the size of a wrist. So big. The first casting that I have was the slab. The slab thickness is about 1.8 meters thick. It is thicker, higher than me because I am only 1.7. Then the slab concrete thickness is 1.8. So higher than 10. Rebars are doubled, bottom and the top. T40 rebar I use. So there I learned how to do rebar inspection because we, the contractor, we have a subcon. So the subcon will do the execution. The main contractor is just only to see, to check, to verify the work if it is in accordance with the plans and specification. My work is to check, finalize prior to the calling for final inspection from the consultant. Because when you work here in Singapore, there is a consultant, there is a contractor. A main con have also a subcon. A subcon will do the execution, and the main con is only for checking, finalizing before calling for final inspection for RTO, Resident Technical Officers, consultant side. I was working at the contractor side, so I am under the consultant side. Sometimes you will meet an inspector which is so strict, almost tearing you down. Their characters, their attitudes is different from you, what you are expected. So if you are lazy, you never have eagerness to check the work of your subcon. You'll just keep on letting them to do without checking. You just keep on standing there one side to another side, waiting for a meal, waiting for lunch. Then when the subcon is calling for an inspection, it is now your responsibility to contact the consultant side, the RTO, Resident Technical Officer, for finalization. Because any activity in the project is subject for a final inspection. So if you don't know what was going on, if there are lapses, you will answer everything. Your plan to cast for concrete will be postponed because of the lapses you never check before the final checking. Yes, I work and I learned there how to become an inspector, how to know the works, the rebel works, the form works, the cleanliness. You will know where and you will know how they did. So that was my background for 2.5 years before I transferred for another company. Before I worked as an inspector. Right now I'm working on consultant side, not main con anymore. So when you are working as an inspector, you know already what was going on. You know the lapses, you know the right, you know the wrong, you know how to cheat. Because before, I also have lapses. I also have mistakes. But uh, to make it clear, any comments from the consultant side, you should give action. Before, I have Filipino consultant. He talked to me like this. Hey brother, you are from Philippines. I also from Philippines. But in our work, you are no longer my friend. You are my friend outside, but here inside, you are not my friend. I have to implement what is needed and required based on plans and specification. So I learned from him also, because he shared everything what he knew before he became an RTO. RTO means resident technical officers. This RTO is working on consultant side. They are the one responsible to finalize the activity. If the RTO say okay, so casting will be started. Casting may proceed anytime. You cannot order concrete unless your concreting rebar work was inspected. So, being a consultant is not an easy job, because everything is in your hands. Once you sign in, it means your permission, your approval is given already. They cannot proceed unless you will affix your signature for approval. You cannot commence any casting works. You cannot do anything unless you will see the work is okay, rebar is okay, formwork is okay, cleanliness is okay. That is all under your care. So, this RTO, you cannot be cheated. You cannot cheat him, because before he became an RTO, he worked also as a main contractor. So all the pasikot-sikot he know already. Even though you are not there during the execution, you know already, the RTO know already how the work is to be done, how the rebar work is to be placed, what is the requirements. So when an inspection comes, you know already what to do. Yes, there are times where minors correction is given a little bit uh, chances, but those that are allowable only, because there are allowables given to any activity, just like rebars. There are allowable for covering for concrete, formwork, uh, allowable tolerances, the ties of rebars, spacing. It's better to be closer than farther, because the more closer the rebar, the more is strength the concrete have. The sizes of the rebars is you are familiar. You can tell the size of the rebar without any dimensions, because every day you see it when you are working. So if they will see this one is like this 32, then the requirement is 40, you know already. They cannot cheat it you. The sizes of the rebars are memorized. Yes. But here in Singapore, you cannot see substandard rebars, unlike Philippines. Yes, it's true. Not to give any comments, but here in Singapore, all the rebars are well graded. If you see 10 mm, it is 10 mm with the strength required. If you see T40, 40, T40. If you see 32, that is T32. 32 mm rebars. Our country, not to mention a place, so many, I don't know how, why, like that. So before I became an RTO, now I am working as an RTO on a consultant side. The works of yesterday is just the same as the works of today, because just like diaphragm wall construction, if you haven't encountered it, diaphragm wall construction, you have no idea. But if you have tried once, then you put it in your mind. Constructing diaphragm wall is always keep on repeating from the very beginning until the end. The excavation works, the concreting works, the equipment used, the same thing happen. Yes, diaphragm work, you start in excavation. Safety is required. After excavation, the testing, that's why there are testing for bentonites. These bentonites are, you may see my videos that bentonite look like a tank erected of the same sizes, the same capacity, standing, look like a tall barrel. That tank is called silo tank, filled with bentonite composition mixed together. That bentonite will be put to the excavation area. That bentonite will normalize the pressure of the soil, because if you will excavate deeper without bentonite, you cannot do it because the soil will collapse. So that bentonite serves as the stabilizer of the soil, so that the soil during excavation never collapse. So the checking for that bentonite is needed. The stickiness, in our dialect, laut sticky. So every 6 hours, there is a testing for bentonite to check the stability of the soil not to collapse. That is the one of the required to witness during the testing. They cannot do testing without an RTO. This RTO like me well confirm that the testing was done personally, was done correctly, and it never failed, because when the testing is conducted, there is also a range from there to there, must not be low, must not going up. If it fails, need to put additional chemicals to save the surface condition of the soil not to collapse. Because during the dewall excavation, it will not completed in an hour. It depends on the depth. Imagine the dewall, you have to excavate 40 meters below the ground. That 40 meters, when we convert to feet, 1 meter is equivalent to 3.5 feet. So 3.5 feet times 40 meters. 3 times 4 is now already 120 feet. Plus 20.5 times 40, that is 20. 140 feet deep below the ground. You can imagine 1-story building is how much? From first floor to second floor to third floor, the height is only 3 meters. From first floor to second floor, so 3 meters, 40 meters divided by 3. So something 10, 12 stories high already. depend on the location. In Marina, I did diaphragm wall construction when I was in contractor at Samsung. We did 80 meters below the ground. Imagine 80 meters. 80 meters divided by 80 meters times 3. Not divide because 1 meter is 3.5 feet. Is 240 feet below the ground. How many story the one? 100, 240 feet divided by 80 feet, 80 meters divided by 3. So how many story the one? 80 divided by, let's see, 80 meters, 20 plus. That is how the bentonite plays in excavation. The deeper the excavation, the deeper is the pressure. So the bentonite plays it all to stabilize the soil condition, the soil phase, never to collapse. So when the excavation was completed, there is a deep checking also. The deep checking before the lowering of rebar cages. Why that is called a rebar cages? Because the rebar is no longer look like in a simple way. The rebar makes look like a rectangular one, depending on the thickness of the diaphragm wall. This diaphragm wall, once concreted, you may be seeing the video I have made about the struts. This diaphragm wall could not support the pressure of the soil when it is deeper. That is why in the construction you can see strutting works, beams with laces supports from diaphragm wall to diaphragm wall to support the movements of the soil, to stabilize the movements of the soil. That is why there is a strap, there are straps to be installed. To continue the diaphragm wall construction, so once excavation completed, the lowering of rebar cages needs to do. So Amincon could not lower the rebar cages unless the rebar was inspected by the RTOs, by the consultant. So the rebar cages will be inspected one by one, because if the deeper the excavation, the longer also the rebar. The rebar cages depends on the depth of the excavation. So whatever be the depth, that also be the length of your rebar cages. Rebar cages is divided into 12 meters only. So if you have 80 meters you divide by 12. So the design engineer will do the designing. How many 12 meters length, how many 10 meters length, because there are lappings to be done. So all the inspection works lies at the hands of the RTOs. But the RTO, because of his background, because he do it many times before become an RTO. He went for a background. It is easy for him to see, to check, easy for him to identify what is the uh, wrong or what is need to be rectified. So all the river cages uh, must pass. Then before the lowering will be done. Then the lowering also, the MinCon will give an information to the consultant that they will start the lowering down of river cages. So the first river cages up to the last inspection for the lapping. Because if there are 80 meters divided by 12, so many. So about 6 times 12, that one is 60. So more than 6 lappings. So each lapping need to be checked. Lapping also will consume an hour before it will be completed. You have to check the tightness of the works and the lappings. How many U-clips put. This U-clips is responsible for the bonding, holding of rebars, so that when it is lower down, it will never be separated from each other. HT40 rebars, when there is a lapping of 1.2, it should have at least three U-clips holding together, holding its bar. Yes, that is like that. So the lowering will be inspected until it will be finished. So if the river cage is completed, another one need to check the depth before the installation of the Tremy pipe. You may see the Tremy pipe is 2.2 meters length. But if it is 80 meters depth, so your Tremy pipe would be 80 meters divided by 2.2. 2.2 meters length of Tremy pipe divide to 80 meters. So you have also same 60 plus. You have also 80 divided by 2.2, so 40. So something 40 pieces. 40 pieces times 2.2. So something 37 pieces. Not so accurate. So need to join together. And that Tremy pipe also need to check once completed installation. Because this Tremy pipe, that is where the concrete is poured during concreting. You cannot pour directly the concrete to the diaphragm wall into the bentonite. This bentonite is filling up all the excavation. So this Tremy pipe will convey the concrete until to the deepest part of the excavation. So checking of this, how many Tremy pipes installed, and the bentonite properties before casting. So once the bentonite properties is passed, approved, there you can start the casting. Casting not only for half hour, it lasted for how many hours? If the construction, if your diaphragm wall is deeper, your casting will last for a day. It will be completed for another shift. If you start 8 o'clock, then your casting will end for 24 hours. So the casting will be continued on the next day. Because when the casting start, you must finish it. You must complete it. Whether it is raining or shine. Whether there is the wind is the weather is not good, so you can see in the construction the workers wearing raincoats because you cannot leave the concrete, you cannot hold your casting because the concrete will dries up, never wait for you. You better do it for the concrete, not the concrete waiting for you. So day and night, rain or shine, you have to do it, act on it. So the one RTO must be there also, must monitor and check the activity until it will be completed. So that is for the diaphragm wall. In board piling, that is similar to diaphragm wall. The only difference is that the board pile is circular. The board pile, the rebar is circular compared to diaphragm wall. The board pile rebars is the same to diaphragm wall. The size of the rebar differs only in the spacing of the ties, horizontal ties, but the principle there is just the same. The board pile also principle and boring is also the same, but differs only in the name. In diaphragm wall, you called it excavation using BC cutter. This BC cutter will do the excavation work where the suction pump is attached on it. Once the wheel is turning, grinding the soil, grinding the any hard object below the earth, a pump is suctioning outside. You may not understand this because you never see it, or if you see it on my video, you understand. So during exhibition, the sludge below is pumped outside. There is a tank outside where the sludge is deposited for disposal. In board pile, there is also bentonite, stabilizing also the soil, not to collapse. But it is no longer excavation, it is boring, because the excavator, that is no longer excavator, that is the boring rig, have now the bucket. The bucket is circular, cylindrical. with the same principle as the basic cutter. Have the teeth. This teeth is high yield steel. Sometimes when they encountered stone, coring for a stone, the teeth of this boring machine is they put diamond, the hardest that will break the stone, whatever be the quality on to break the hardest rocks below. This will be also extracted. The same principle. Rebars, bentonite. Inspection also the same. Inspection for thickness, for depth, the diameter, rebars, ties, lappings. A little difference, only the names, but the execution, the way how they do are similar. So in 1 year of working, of the same thing coming after completion, you imagine in 1 week you can complete diaphragm wall, 2 pieces depending on the depth. You will complete 2 diaphragm walls in a week. So if there are 2 diaphragm walls in a week, in 1 month, how many weeks? 4. 4 weeks times 2 diaphragm walls per week. So you have 8 diaphragm walls completed in a month. You work for 2 years, 1 year, 3 years. So how? You will get bored. Every day, diaphragm wall, diaphragm wall, diaphragm wall. So if you put it in your mind, you can see it already. What is going on, what is to be prepared, what is to be done. So you almost memorize everything. So now during an inspection, before when I was a main contractor, I always carry the plans, the pamphlets for an engineer. The plan is always with me. Why? Because once the inspector will come, if he will ask for something, then you cannot explain to him. You cannot convince him. He will ask for, do you have any plans, drawings, you can present to me for verification purposes. So when I was working as a main contractor, the plan is in my pocket. I folded it enough to carry, can put in my pocket. So when the RTOs asking for me, do you have any details for this? I can show him by plans and drawings. There was one time I forgot. An inspector shouted at me, "Hey, brother, how come you called for an inspection wherein you do not know? imagine like that? Inspector is talking like that. You cannot present to me any drawings. You are working without knowing. If anybody talking like you, if anybody look at talking to you like that, are you happy? So I looking back at what I had, I remember, but sometimes also in my time today, when they called an inspection, I talked to them already. Brother, before you call for an inspection, you must prepare everything, because I have had already an experience wherein you cannot convince anything if you don't have support. Yes. So during inspection, contractor also plays. They do games. If you don't know how to code the games, the games wins, because night is different at the office. Plans, specifications is only the basis. But there are occasions wherein the drawings, uh, the plans is not applicable. There are lapses, so need to be rectified on site. Yeah. So many things happen in one day. In starting works. This starting works, after the completion of the diaphragm wall, starting works will be the next. This diaphragm wall will serve as the wall support of the soil, because the external soil and the internal soil is separated from this diaphragm wall. So the diaphragm wall is on different location, on the north side and on the south side. This north side and south side is about 20 meters apart. Depends on the design. There are 20 meters, there are 30 meters apart. So this diaphragm wall, when the soil between the diaphragm wall is removed, it looks like now a canal, an open canal. See, an open canal. Bank on the left side, bank on the right side, just like a river. Little figurative idea is you see a river with uh, banks on the left side and bank on the right side. That is what will happen in open excavation in MRT line construction. Top bottom top down process. This diaphragm wall will serve as a wall both side north and side to hold the soil to collapse. But due to the pressure exerted by the soil, this diaphragm wall need to be supported by a strut from the other diaphragm wall to from north diaphragm wall to south diaphragm wall, because to minimize the stress exerted by the soil holding together, supporting together. But you can notice there is a board pile in every diaphragm wall in between them, because this board pile will serve as the king post supporting the strut not to bend down. Yes, not to bend down. And this king post, this board piling works, the king post will serve also as the dividing wall. The dividing wall. Because the north side diaphragm wall and then south side diaphragm wall, there is board pile in between them, because this 20-meter length of in between diaphragm wall, after the excavation after the excavation, when the construction will start, this board pile will become a dividing wall, because this is the other side, the north side will become the one way of train track, and the north side, south side will also another track. So this diaphragm wall will become two tracks in opposite direction. Two tracks in opposite direction. The train is coming out and the train is coming in. That is how, after the base lab construction, the track lines of the MRT is separated by the walls casted on this king post. This king post location will serve also as the support for the diaphragm wall, the rebar works like that. So when this completed, that's why you can see the trains going at the left side, going at the right side in opposite direction. Thus, the exhibition is like that. So this track line going in and going out. So that's how you can figure out how it will happen. So no need to worry about construction in MRT lines. Though it is deeper, but it is safe. River works are the design for the river works are 1.5 times safer than what is required. Yes, that is true. It is safe. So that is all about uh, MRTs. In top-down excavation, because there are two types of constructing MRT lines, top-down and bottoms-up. Top-down means you start from the top slab rebar going to the uh, bottom slab. That is called top-down. Then bottoms-up, you start from the bottom, the base slab, going up to top slab. So see you for the next time. Next time we will talk about tunnels, circular tunnels and rectangular tunnels. Shout out to those who are watching. Thank you for your support. See you next time. Have a blessed Saturday night. Good evening to everyone. Thank you. Bye bye bye.